All right, we're live. It is Thursday, May 28th, and tonight I'm going to be taking a look at Gatsby.js. A little bit outside my comfort zone, but I'm definitely a fan of, I think the term isn't in vogue anymore, static site generators, the Jamstack. My blog runs on Jekyll, but that was years ago that I set that up. Jamstack Conf was this week, and Gatsby is the hot stuff in that regard. So I'm just going to dive in, run through the docs. Um, it's an area where I'm going to be rusty and making mistakes, but I've heard the docs are fantastic, so I'm looking forward to see what I can do. And if all goes smoothly enough, we'll see if I can, not tonight, but transition my blog over to that. So I'm going in this completely blind. I know that they have docs, so we'll get started. And we're going to go through how to install, start a project. Let's go with tutorial. Don't think we need that. Let's do the quick start. All right, I don't think I have the Gatsby CLI installed. Let me see if I pull this over, if I can get them both on the screen here. Come on. Can I get you? Yeah. All right. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. I'm going to install the Gatsby CLI. Indeed, I don't have it. And when that's ready, maybe I should have done this beforehand. It'll be 10 minutes of this being installed. But I did see on Hacker News a lot of comments saying that the Gatsby docs are fantastic, which is encouraging. So I'm looking forward to see if that's the case. But looking here, this does look very straightforward, at least for getting a page up and running. Um, Hopefully nothing breaks where I have to debug. All right, so we can't quite see what's going on here. Let's just pull it open a little wider. Gatsby collects anonymous usage. You can opt out. Let's opt out for now. All right, so there are dependencies I might need to install myself, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'll just see if it breaks, and I'll remember that. All right, so the telemetry disabled didn't work. It's not encouraging. Rough start. Gatsby help. Strange. I should see. I should see what version of Node I need, because I don't mess with Node much, and I probably need a different version than I have. Let's jump over to the tutorials. We'll check the versions. Recipes, guides, quick start tutorial. Setting up the dev environment. Step 0. Brew install node. Cruising through here. I just want to see. All right, so here we go. I think I do have NVM, so we'll go clear here. NVM VM install 10. And we'll make sure that it's using it. All right, so now let's just hop back up, make sure that CLI was installed properly, and we'll hop back to the tutorial, or the quick start guide rather. And hopefully this time goes smoother. All right, let's see if we can opt out of telemetry this time. can't. Interesting. Gatsby not found. Deprecated, not recommended. User Matthew. Inc. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to. That's so strange. We installed that. Let's check the Gatsby CLI docs. Gatsby CLI is packages in executable communities globally. It's available via npm. All right, strange. See, I don't think it put anything in the directory. No. Okay, users npm versions. No. So it's did it? Okay. Now let me. I think it probably installed it in the 812 bin because of MVM. So gonna uninstall that. I don't actually know how to remove because I don't use npm much. Npm uninstall package. Npm uninstall. Npm uninstall Gatsby CLI -G. All right. Now we're going to clear, and we're going to say node v. Okay, so we're on 10 now. So let's just start this from the top and see if it ends up in the v10 directory. Okay. That is so strange. Okay, so once again, let's just see if, yeah. So for some reason, it's installing it in, I mean, oh, I probably removed this from my path, the NVM versions from my path, but I'm not sure why the Gatsby bin is being put in the 8.2 path instead of the version 10 path. Let's just see what's going on in here. Will it just open that up for me? So we got 10 bin just node 8.2 bin node Gatsby. All my other stuff is there. I wonder if there's a different setting. Okay. Well, the one thing that I do need to do is make sure, and I'm going to do this. Do this off the screen. I'm going to check my bash RC and my zshrc to make sure that I have those NVM directories being loaded, because I think at some point I took them out and I need them back in there, obviously, if I'm going to be using those. So I just want to make sure that that's not the issue. All right. CSHRC, no, not this. I have this in my bash RC. Okay. Let me see what I got here. All right. what I have to do is, let's make sure that I'm using NVM right. I pulled it out because at one point I was trying to speed up my terminal, which was a silly thing. And I actually didn't even finish doing that project. Try adding the snip from the install. Well, I know that I have NVM. Oh, unless I've pulled this out, and this is also why it's getting installed in the wrong directory. All right, you know what? Okay, while I'm doing this, I'm going to do npm uninstall again. I'm going to update this. Maybe I do have this. We'll see. All right, yeah, we'll see what happens. This loads NVM. All right, I'm going to save that. That is uninstalled. Bash. What do I have? I have a shortcut here. No, not. Reload.bash. Is that what I have? Whatever. Source. There's the shrc. And I'll source my bash rc. NVM is fine. NVM use 10 is set for here. Now we'll try this again. Oops. npm install. And we'll see where this ends up. Pull open Finder and we can take a look. That's all there. Leave that over there. And we'll see. Let's just node. Looks like once again Gatsby is in the 8.12 one, which is probably not right. So I'll be going back to the. All right, so something's really messed up there. Can I go back to the docs here? All right. And take this super one step at a time. All right. Dev environment, NVM, NVM. Make sure that this 614, 1020, 614, 10 more or less right. All right, got Git installed. So this is so bizarre. All right. Well, it's pretty classic. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here. On OS X, if you had a system node installed and want to install modules globally, keep in mind that. Um, Strange. I mean, npm it's using the version for this directory. All right, I don't want it. Oh, there's something to be said for I'm not sure why. Let's just make sure. Let's see. nvm use 8. Let's see if I can run Gatsby now. I can't because it's in that folder, but it's broken because it's the wrong version of Node. So that makes sense. I know where my issue is coming from. All right. nvm -g installed in wrong version. See if I need to upgrade nvm. nvm upgrade. Can't read that. Let's move this over. Not moving. There we go. All right. All right. So I'm using 0353. NVM is on. Okay, so I don't need to update that. That's the right version. Strange. What am I doing wrong? Global modules. So why? Yeah, you know what? Maybe I need to okay, this is what I'll do. Try this again. I am going to just start a new shell here just to see if it's something to do with that. All right. Make sure we're using the right version. Well, it's not the version I wanted to use. NVM, that is not a real version. NVM use 10. So I'm using 10. You need to, oops. Okay. Node-v. Now, is that just for my session? Like if I hop over and I say, let's go to nvm help. Let me make 10. What if I can make it my default version? Print it out, install. Maybe it's like use and then dash global or something. NVM. Use it, run it, exec it. Oh, I probably need, okay, well. Do I have a node env? Well, let me check here. Node use. Let's just see if I have all this. NVM use 10. Default. Let's hope that may be my issue. NVM default version. Set a default version. NVM alias default. NVM alias default 10. All right. NVM version, so I'm on 8, so I'm gonna, well, NVM use 10, make sure that I'm using it. Let's do npm install. We'll try this again, and let's see. Let's see if that's gonna work this time. Hop open and see if it's getting installed in the correct directory. Are we getting it in the bin of 10? No, we're not. Ay, ay, ay. Once again in 8. npm warn deprecated. Well, that's not particularly helpful. All right. NVM alias default. So that worked, or that should work. So then what? All right. Node-v using 10. So strange. Well, not how I expected to spend this live stream, though I did think there might be some issues. All right, NVM. See if I'm missing something here. Important notes are probably important. All right. go with important notes. If you run in a system without a prepackaged binary, then use the source. NVM does not support a Windows subsystem. NVM does not support fish. On OS X, if you don't have Xcode installed, I do. NPM install, yeah. I'm not using sudo. I don't have an npm-rc file, I don't believe, but you know what? Stranger things have happened. I do have an npm-rc file. Oh, interesting. Okay, well. Make sure it does not. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Delete. Strange issue. Make a mental note of this. I did have an npm-rc file. Honestly, no idea where it came from. It did contain a prefix, so that might be why this was a giant mess up until now. So let's try that again. Otherwise, I will reload the shell just to make sure that that works correctly. Let's just open this up one more time. Fingers crossed here. Not looking good. Oh, but did I switch back? All right. I'm gonna try this one more time. One more time from the beginning with feeling. Okay, npm uninstall the Gatsby CLI. I'm going to source my RC files if that is in the history here. It is. That is uninstalled. I'm going to set up a new terminal window here. I'm going to check my node version. It's 10.2. So, all right. Fingers crossed here. I think it's still installing it in my 8.1.2, which is just perplexing to me. Why? Wait, no, maybe not. Wait a minute. I think we might be good. All right. Gatsby. Where's the telemetry line? Is it up a little higher? Telemetry disable. Okay, we got Gatsby installed. All right, so just to recap for my own sake, when you're using NVM, if you have a .npm-rc file with a prefix in it that's not compatible with NVM, and the consequence can be that when you're doing installs, they end up in the wrong version of node's bin directory, rendering everything a giant pain. So 30 minutes in, and all we managed to do is get the Gatsby CLI installed. But you know what? That's life. That's why we call it trial and error. So we will close one here, and we'll clear, and we will hop back to the docs. We don't need these. Thank you, NVM. We don't need you anymore. Gatsby raised a lot of money. Quick start. All right, so let's grab Gatsby, new Gatsby site. Next thing we're going to do in the docs is cd into it and start a development server. Pulling down a lot. I have this open in VS Code 2 so we can see what we have here. Giant node modules. Probably if there's not a get ignore doesn't include that by default. I thought I did. Prettier files. All right, so installed, 0 vulnerabilities, initializing git, empty git repository created the initial commit. Oh, that's kind of nice. It's all ready. Oh, and they give you the commands here as well. So I'm going to hop in to the site that was created, and this will start up a development server locally. So I should be able to see the demo site. All right, Bootstrap finished, 7 seconds, run queries, generated image thumbnails. You can view the site in the browser here. Very cool. Default Gatsby starter. Now you need to go build something, go to page 2. So I think one of the real pitches of Gatsby is the speed. And it is, I mean, this is a nothing site, but even with it being a nothing site, it's so fast. All right, so very cool. Basic site is up. I'm going to hop back to the docs, the quick start. All right, we can edit JavaScript and source pages. Save changes will reload in the browser. So let's hop into source pages. Okay. Using TypeScript, is it TypeScript file? Okay. So page 2. Hide from the second page. Exclamation point. And if we go over to the site, I'm assuming that this updates in real time. Let's drag this over just to see it. It's page 2, SEO title, page 2. Welcome to page 2. Yes, very, very cool. All right. Now, create a production build. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to walk through the whole thing rather than thinking that I know better. So I'll stop that. I will run Gatsby build. I'm just going to build a production version of my site. Now, this honestly is one of the things that I'm concerned about, although maybe it's just the price that you pay for this type of site. But I mean, there's nothing in this site, and it takes 20 seconds to build. So I do wonder about build times being a bit of a pain with Gatsby. But you know, that's not a huge criticism. It's more of just a thought. And then we can run Gatsby Serve. I'm just going to serve that site that I just built on 9,000. Okay. Very cool. All right. Very nice. Now I want to see one of the things I'm really intrigued about here. Close this one. I can honestly close that one too. All right, plugin library. Quickly look at these, although I'm more intrigued at just how I would port. I think porting my blog over to this, if I was gonna start using it, would be one of the, oh, wow, 2,000 plugins. I don't want SEO. What am I typing SEO for? Okay. All right. I'm going to hop over to, okay, docs, recipes, working with plugins, working with starters, using the starter, using the theme, sourcing data, adding markdown data for blog posts and pages with GraphQL. All right. Sourcing data. Data sourcing in Gatsby is plugin driven. Source plugins fetch data from the source. All right, project structure. This is something that actually I want to look at. I'll open up, or I'll have a peek at the actual. I can stop serving here, pull open the actual project here so I can glance at it while I'm looking at these. Cache, node modules. I don't have any plugins added yet. Public, I guess, is what gets built. Source is where I'm building from. Pages, templates, HTML.js. A static directory, which I also don't have. And then a Gatsby config, Gatsby node, SSR, and browser. Okay, Gatsby config configures options for the site with metadata for the project. All right. Very cool. Let's see if this looks helpful. Or is this, oh, that's not where we were. Okay. A more detailed list, blah, blah, blah. Creating pages automatically. Gatsby's core automatically turns React components in source pages into pages with URLs. Okay. For example, component source pages index and source pages about would automatically create pages within those file names, index and about. So we know that we already have a pages directory. We know that it would do this. Let's just copy this in for fun. What was it about JS? Well, I'm not, let me run, was it Gatsby develop? So that'll be up and running in a second, or in 20 seconds. All right. Let's see if that made about. It did. I mean, not wrapped the way that standard pages are. So if we wanted it to match the look, we'd import React, we'd import length, layout, and image. We'd wrap it in layout. I probably, but I don't have any of the React extensions for VS Code. which I probably should have if I'm going to start working with Gatsby. And it's probably fine for now. Oh, wow, there we go. About the author. Built with Gatsby. Nice. That was actually pretty straightforward and painless. Very cool. But I want to find out. Okay, linking between pages. You use the link component. Gatsby develop. That's how we link. Saw the layout in there. I guess all these live in components. So that's where the layout's coming from. It's very cool. I want to know how I can add markdown files in a directory, or if that's possible, for the the blog like feel that I get from Jekyll, or if the focus is really just much more on more robust sites. I do want to programmatically create pages from data. That's definitely what I want to do. Well, not data. Data in Gatsby. I know that Gatsby uses GraphQL, but I don't want to go there yet. Using Gatsby Starters. Okay. Starter hello world. Default starters. Opening up code. I wonder what other starters that they have. Let's see what other starters they have, because if they have a blog one, that'll give me a jump start here. Gatsby source WordPress experimental web creators themes WP starter default hi starter blog. Let's just see if there's anything else that is a blog in here. But we'll just build off that. Starter blog theme, starter blog theme core. All right, Gatsby starter blog. Okay, quick start. Here we go. All right, we won't be using this anymore. Get out of the directory, and we will use that to make a new blog starter. I guess it'll download that and make it. Run Gatsby develop, and I guess we'll take a look at what's inside. Node modules, source, get ignore, prettier, config, node, SSR, license package, lock, readme. All right, that's fine. But where do I dump in? I guess once this is installed, we'll see where. Oh, there's a lot more. Very cool. Okay. CD, my blog starter. Gatsby develop. And we'll see what that looks like. Okie dokie. I do wonder too with some of these if it's longer the first time it runs. Okay, cool. Starter blog. Very cool. Kyle Matthews on Twitter. Found okay. Very neat. All right. So let's take a look now at what this looks like in code. Let's move you over. All right. Ooh. Markdown all in one. Dismiss for now. Okay, so we have our source, components, pages, 404, templates, blog posts, utils, typography, static, favicon. So where is the content for the site generated? Is it pulling right now from a, oh, content. Derp. Interesting. I wonder is content a convention that we can use? There's the blog. Okay. So how are these structured? Oh, interesting. Oh, I don't mind this. Okay. So the posts are directory, but you can include assets that they use within them. Content assets blog. All right. So that one doesn't have the picture. Hello World has the picture. Second post. New beginnings. Very neat. Okay. All right. So let me hop on the Gatsby site. I mean, so now I kind of understand at least the structure for how I would do a blog, or how I would move my blog from Jekyll to Gatsby. With my setup in Jekyll, I have, oh, I wondered how I'd do that. I have dated markdown files in one directory. I guess they're dated for the URL. They wouldn't have to be by convention. It's just for ordering them. But I'd have to convert them to being directories with an index.markdown to use them with Gatsby. Now, let me just see if the docs have anything more on blogs. There's because I'm just so new to this. There's so many different aspects that I want to look into, and one of them is using some of the CMSs that hook on to these site generators. But to make the configuration, all right. Gatsby, yeah, these headless CMSs. But I'm not so much interested in Strappy. I mean, I would be at some point. I'm not going to do this now. I'm just looking at Gatsby. I'm intrigued at that. Like, is this content directory, that blog folder, is this a standard convention? Like, are these Gatsby starter blog? These aren't in a blog folder. They're just in the root. I wonder if something is in the Gatsby config that says that. Site metadata, description, site URL. You know what I should do? All right. Let's just see. Probably should have done this at the beginning. Gatsby snippets, Gatsby extension, new Gatsby post and front matter. Any more info on these? Gatsby snippets, Gatsby extension. Eh, not no wildly popular extensions. That's fine. Oops. Okay, we can close you. Plugins. So this is where our plugins are defined. Okay, here we go. We're using the Gatsby file system plugin, and we're pointing its path to the directory content blog. So we could probably stick this wherever we wanted, and we're giving it a name because we might want to use this plugin. I'm guessing, yeah, because we want to use this plugin to reference multiple things, so we have to name what we're doing with it. Okay, that's cool. I'll have to see what else. I mean, looks like these plugins enable a lot of functionality. What time is it? We've been going for 50 minutes. Okay, so we still have a little time. The starter library, I did want to look into. Oh, let me look at since I know now that it's the plugins are what does that. Let me look a little bit at the file system plugin docs. The Gatsby source plugin for sourcing data into your Gatsby app from your local file system. Okay. It's from JSON file to JSON 30. Remark transfer markdown files into markdown remark nodes. How to use it. You can have multiple instances of the plugin. The following sets up the Jekyll pattern. Oh. Having a pages directory for markdown files and a data directory for JSON, YAML, CSV. Oh, very cool. Okay. Pass in things to ignore. Now, I'm not going to get into the GraphQL portion of this today just because it's a bit much and it's a bit over my head and I don't have quite enough time left to do that. Okay, so if I were porting over my Jekyll site, I would probably structure it something like this with source content, source blog, and then switch the names of the files to be the directories and index to be the page. Okay. Create file path. All right, so when building pages from files, you often want to create a URL from the file's path on the file system. Node, get node base path. I did not get to the tutorial, part 7. I'm not going to go through this, not right yet. Sourcing WordPress, retrieving the name and extension, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The Gatsby source file system plugin. That makes sense. I just want to take a quick look then at themes. So I think themes. What are Gatsby themes? Gatsby themes are plugins that include a config and add pre-configured functionality. One way to create Gatsby sites is similar to Gatsby Starters. Okay, Gatsby themes. Using a Gatsby theme. I wonder if the Gatsby theme blog is the same one that I'm using. Um, we'll see if this is the same, if it changes the site at all, if it just explodes everything. Okay. Publish themes. Let's just see. All right, so that was installed. I'm assuming that this isn't going to change the site. Ah, it did. It exploded everything. Oops. This probably because oh, that's be new beginnings. Starter blog, new beginnings. All right, so I'm guessing then. Let's just look back at the docs there. In just the main, I'm gonna drop this within my plugins. You know, just to see what happens. Just to see if I explode everything, unless it's already using it. Plugin feed, Gatsby React Helmet. So let me just drop this in. And we'll say the base path, we'll just leave it at the default. And see if that explodes that site or not. I'm going to need to try to install a different theme to see if it's themes, using, shadowing, building, converting, composition conventions, themes in plugin library. Okay. All right. Let's just drop this one in to see what happens. That's going to install. It's going to take 1,000 years. And we will add this. We'll remove that. Don't need any options. Probably do it that way. Should be installed. This one, if it works, should be dramatically different than what we had before. All right. So that's not quite module exports plugins. Edit the Gatsby config. All right. I would have thought, I wonder if I need to, well, I shouldn't need to rebuild. Plugins, resolve, Gatsby theme material. I wonder if I do need to, Google Analytics, Gatsby plugin feed, Gatsby plugin React Helmet, plugin typography. That's a typography one, that's React Helmet, that's plugin manifest. I don't think that's a theme one. Transformer Sharp. Resolve, transformer remark, file system, file system. If I drop this at the end, I do wonder if the order matters. We hop back. Theme, you know, all right. Create, edit, source, Gatsby theme material UI top theme.js. All right. Source, Gatsby theme material UI top layout theme.js. Well, the docs are pretty good here, and at least they're telling me what to do. So that was, oh, I need to make that. I'm not in source. cd source ls, make the directory, made theme.js, drop this in to theme.js. Oops, drag you to where you're supposed to be, open that up, save that. Sometimes following the instructions helps. Now, well, first let's see what if anything that did. Nothing. Probably because I need to drop this theme into the various pages. Import theme top layout. The following components have been adapted for use within Gatsby. Let's just see. What these do. So what did I do here? That's probably going to break something. Because topography is not being used. What rhythm is. All right. Link is being used. Topography is being used anywhere else? No. Well, we'll just save that. See if we change one thing. Failed to compile. Oops. Maybe because I didn't actually make that. That's probably what it is. All right. Not helpful. All right. So, bottom line, for theming, I'm going to need to do a little bit more digging and a little bit less shooting from the hip to walk through this and actually use these. That's the blog one we had. In addition to the theme options, these are customization fields. Now I want to look at the styling. Okay. So you override that. I didn't even see this section. Oh, that's the font to make the theme. All right. Just see. Last thing I'm going to try here. See if that breaks everything or not. It did. Link has already been declared. And then the other ones aren't being used. Yeah, so actually, for the theme, I need to modify. I can't just hack it together. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned a little bit about MVM in the first half of this. In the second half, we learned how to install a starter Gatsby site. Docs are great and straightforward in that regard. And we learned a bit about the structure and the file system plugin with the goal of being able to port over a Jekyll site and the manner in which that would be done. And at least we have a direction that we could go if we wanted to do that. And then we started poking at themes, but we didn't get too far with actually implementing them. All in all, made some mistakes and I learned some stuff and have to be happy with how that turned out. Thanks for tagging along. Have a great night.